All right, I know I said in the last video I was going to cover a deep sea creature next, but that had to take a back seat for a second, because recently a few insects have gone viral that we absolutely need to talk about. They all look like they could do serious damage, and some of them actually do, that you might not expect. So, sliding in a little quick episode of what the f is this? One that's been a long time coming, the insect edition. Let's get the general information out of the way. Throughout the What the Fuck Is This series, we've definitely talked about insects here and there. When it comes to viral heinous shit that people don't know what it is, there's always gonna be an insect thrown into the mix. There are over 1 million species that we know of, which is about the same amount as every other animal species combined, and then double it. In the words of Robert May, to a good approximation, all species are insects. And that's just the ones we've discovered. Estimates of total insect species range from 4 million, that's the low number, to 20 million. 20 million species, not individuals, species. An unlikely number, but the fact that it's a valid possibility is godforsaken. New species of insects are being discovered so frequently that scientists are just naming them after celebrities just for the fuck of it. Like this fly, named after Beyonce, or this wasp, named after Trump. So, anyway, all of that is to say that that amount of species means a fuck ton of diversity in life histories, strategies, and our general theme today, defense. Before we get into the viral ones, I want to show you a couple that I came across while researching for this video. First, the spiny devil katydid. I feel like this one is a joke. Looks like a wax figurine. I don't know what I'd do if I saw this in real life. And their defense mechanism isn't crazy. See those sharp spines all over them? Kind of hard to miss. They kick with them. They kick them into predators, which you would expect from them. Mostly just wanted to let you know that they exist. All right, get this next one though. Honeybees? We all know honeybees. They are the coolest. They have a specific behavior called heat balling, where when a honeybee colony is threatened by a predator, like a hornet or wasp, the worker bees will swarm around the predator and like vibrate and generate heat and then just burn it to death. Dude, hot enough to burn it to death. Nuts. That is nuts. I wouldn't be surprised if that's one that I should have known, but I didn't. Like a flood of comments like, how did you not know about honeybee heat balling? I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably behind on honeybee knowledge compared to the average zoologist, but I am thinking about really diving into it, making a video about what I learned, so let me know if you would like to see that. So, as we have seen many times on this channel, animals across the entire kingdom have evolved crazy defense mechanisms and hunting tactics. So before I show you today's viral examples, I want to tell you about our very own brand sponsor, Beast Lore, an animal-themed strategy mobile game that allows you to explore an open world, battling enemies, completing quests, and collecting resources to strengthen your creatures and unlock new abilities. You start off in the role of Beast Lord, where you migrate to a new land to rebuild your kingdom and establish a strong foothold in the new continent. Here, you'll have to choose a unique class, which will determine your role in the game and the play style. Collector, which focuses on peace and gathering resources. Invader, which focuses on battle and stealing resources. Or Developer, which focuses on construction and empire efficiency. Quick tip. Collector is the way to go. Resource production is key. What's cool about Beast Lord is that there's over 500 animal-themed characters to unlock and play as, like the lion, which you can get freely the second day login. Also dinosaurs, and lizards, and even a raccoon. So, always new stuff to look forward to. Super sick. Logging in now grants you the supreme beast, lion, from the start. A valuable opportunity not to be missed. If you want to try out Beast Lord for yourself, click on the link in the description to download the game and enter redeem code BL777 for the special benefit. Exclusively applied to Beast Studio, which provides essential resource supplies for early development. Logging in now grants you the supreme beast, the lion, from the start. You do not want to miss that valuable opportunity. Thank you, Beast Lord, for sponsoring this video. Now onto the beast for today. Gian, roll the first clip.
What the fuck?
I get that a lot.
That is a southern flannel moth caterpillar, also known as a pus caterpillar, or asp. Heinous nicknames if you ask me. They almost look kind of cute, and seemingly soft, covered in some sort of fluff. Nope.
No.
That's what they want you to think. That fluff is a blanket of venomous spines that, when touched, stick to the skin and result in pictures like this. Or this, the ultimate secret weapon. As you would probably guess from how heinous these pictures are, the venom is nuts. It causes excruciating pain, rash, numbness, and in some cases, difficulty breathing, or worse. People have described the pain as the worst pain they've ever experienced. Being hit with a baseball bat, walking on hot coals, breaking a bone. Dude, I can't even fathom how a creature that small can do that much damage. I've broken a lot of bones, by the way. Lots of fingers. I broke one when I was in Namibia, both my arms. The second time I had to get surgery because the bone was sticking out. My friend was throwing rocks at the wheels of my skateboard, and boom, crack. My kneecap used to pop out pretty frequently in middle school, high school. Apparently, I have European knees. That's what my doctor said. So, popped out easily.
Ma'am, stick to the Wendy.
But anyway, an inch-long creature causing that kind of pain is something I never want to experience. And apparently the pain gets worse as time goes on. It can kind of spread to other parts of the body and can last for hours or even days. Days, dude. Whoa. Kind of went into the pain shit pretty quick. Let me back up a little bit and give you a proper introduction. All right, the southern flannel moth caterpillar is the baby of this. Honestly, stunning and totally harmless. They're found in the South United States and come in orange and yellow shades. They lay eggs that are bright yellow and kind of fuzzy looking, easily mistaken as a piece of lint from your favorite knit sweater. And when they hatch, they look like this, kind of myriapod in form. And then they molt multiple times, becoming more and more fluffy with each, which is really awkward for a bit, you know? Like puberty, just kind of raggedy, kind of look like they got electrocuted. Then a couple molts later, boom, beautiful and fluffy in the most heinous sense. And then later, boom, adult, in a peaceful state. So what's the key to this venom? They're the region's most venomous caterpillar and one of the most venomous in the country. What is the secret ingredient? A research team wanted to get to the bottom of this last year in 2023. They looked at the venom of the southern flannel moth caterpillar and the black-waved flannel moth caterpillar, another one in the same region with the same kind of shit going on. Like your average, typical venom, the venom of these caterpillars contain proteins that bind to the cells of their victims, which then send pain signals to the brain. But these proteins do something unusual on top of that. They kind of shape-shift into a donut and then punch a hole right into the cell. A nutso, ouch. This leads to the horrible reactions I mentioned before. Serious stuff. So if you happen to get stung by this caterpillar and have a mild reaction, you should be all good. You should be. Use cellophane tape to get the spines out as fast as you can, and some ice packs and pain relievers should do the trick. But a more serious reaction, definitely go to the hospital. The teenager a few years ago apparently had seizures and kept passing out from this caterpillar, dude. From a caterpillar. So, don't mess around. Caterpillars are not really thought of as dangerous creatures. I feel like for me, the classic default caterpillar is an inchworm, classic guy that hangs out. Most caterpillars are. They just hang out, munch on plant material, and are harmless. But sometimes that is not the case, which is great for them as defense and horrible for us, i.e. their potential threat. So I'm going to introduce you to some caterpillars with some pretty gnarly defenses, like up there with the flannel moth caterpillar. Just a little PSA. A little FYI. All right, the saddleback caterpillar, found in eastern North America and Mexico. Looks like they're repping their favorite sports team, but they're actually repping your demise if you touch them. This is clearly a creature that does not want to be fucked with. All right, next, the hag moth caterpillar. It looks like vomit. I mean, they look terrible.
Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that?
Another one found in the eastern and southern U.S. Io moth caterpillar, eastern U.S., Midwest, and Mexico. They kind of look like candy to me, but absolutely do not eat it. Also, they often travel in groups. And the bag shelter caterpillar, found in Australia. They also tend to travel in groups, up to potentially 100, and their venomous hairs can apparently be carried by wind. So, another thing Australia has to explain for itself. This might feel overwhelming. Like, how am I supposed to keep track of all these caterpillars? Well, luckily, I have a solution for you. If you don't know it, don't touch it. That actually applies to literally everything ever.
Remember, don't put it in your mouth.
All right, next. That is a stick bug doing a little dance to ward off their foe. An entomologist at the Western Australian Museum identified it as Parencestus cornutus, and this movement is a bluff. When you think of stick bugs, you probably think of peaceful little guys that like to look like sticks. That is definitely very true. There's over 3,000 species, and they all seem to just hang out, at least that we know of. They can be as small as an inch, or the largest can get to nearly 2 feet long. The largest ever found was 21 inches long, with their legs extended. A hefty fella indeed. So in order to protect their peace, different stick bugs have different defense adaptations. Camouflage across the board, of course, and many will sway when disturbed, as to imitate a dead stick swaying in the wind. Some will hiss, which tends to work pretty well since hissing is unexpected from a stick. Others will spray nasty chemicals like skunks, and many will flash their bright colored wings to spook a predator. That seems to be what's happening here with a little twist, possibly imitating a scorpion. It's just what an animal's got to do when they lack good self-defense, like the other animals we've talked about in this video. They have to talk a lot of shit. Clearly it's effective since they're being called the creature from hell, so I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. Next! That is a masked hunter. A type of assassin bug, which I know sounds like a character Tom Cruise would play if he was a bug, and maybe he should. Assassin bugs as a whole are highly skilled predators, hence their name. They have sly and often ambush-style attack techniques. They pierce their victims with their sharp proboscis, injecting enzymes that liquefy their insides and drink it right up. There's about 7,000 species, so as you would imagine, there's a lot of diversity in their hunting tactics. My favorite is this. They suck up the insides of their prey, leaving only the exoskeleton, and attach it to its back. Absolutely filthy if you ask me. It not only looks metal as fuck, but it also serves as good camouflage and armor. If I was an assassin bug, I would want to do this. But back to the masked hunter. Their strategy is camouflage in the form of dirt. and dust. As teenagers, or nymphs, they're covered in this sticky substance that collects dust and dirt to camouflage themselves, their own little ghillie suit. Here's a teenager without the dirt. Here's a teenager with the dirt. And here's an adult. They grow out of the need for disguise. They're originally from Europe but are now found in states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Canada. The country, not the state. They do bite, and it can be painful and cause swelling and numbness, so be sure to check your dust, dirt, and debris regularly. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Definitely on the heinous deep sea creature this time. Check out my Patreon for behind the scenes updates on our Discord server. Download Beast Lord and use code BL777 to receive essential resource supplies for early development and Supreme Beast Lion for a jump start. And for now, stay curious. The world has a lot for us to learn. See ya!